Hello beautiful Marvel fans, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. We finally now know why Marvel is taking their sweet darndish time with revealing to us the X-Men. And I'm not even just talking about mutants, because we've already started having them be introduced into the MCU. I'm talking about a report that's come out that gives us a clear understanding now why Kevin Feige is kind of put in a position where he's forcefully holding back on revealing iconic classic X-Men characters like Wolverine, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and also basically letting us know those classic X-Men characters are not going to be showing up until Phase 7 of the MCU. I'm going to be breaking down all these details here for you guys, but I want to hear from you now that we have a clearer understanding to what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to be breaking down all that information here for you guys, but I also want to hear from you now that you know this about the MCU. Can you be patient to wait a couple more years for actual full-grown X-Men to show up? Would you rather Marvel just start rushing them out already with the contract obligations they got? Or any of your thoughts and theories how there can be a happy middle ground? Alright, so just diving into all this madness, a certain reporter who is verified on Twitter and is also followed by Matt Reeves, which I don't know, just helps me build a little bit more credibility towards this source because I had never heard of it before. They have a following on Patreon where they discuss some of the latest movie news and topics going on in Hollywood. And well, in their latest episode that they just revealed talking about San Diego Comic-Con and reacting to all that news, one of the co-hosts in here reveals exactly why Marvel and Kevin Feige are holding back on revealing classic X-Men characters. Let me play it for you.
Rob Liefeld made it a point this weekend when people asked him on Twitter. He was like, I've been telling you it's going to be a while.
So I know why. The reason why is because the contractual situation with the original Fox stuff is going to be in effect till 2025.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
And so if they don't want to use those actors, then they have to wait until that contract all expire.
Okay. But what I'm wondering is, like, can you even announce it before that?
Well, this is what I'm talking about now. Is that stuff's 2025. So if they're going to have stuff hitting in 2025 at the end of the contract, then they'll announce it. But I think that actually they probably can't go into production. Like, it's not even released. It's the same thing with Superman. They won't announce it.
Coming out in 2025 then.
So they're going to be Phase 7. They're going to be mutants that will show up after the multiverse saga is over.
And let me tell you, hearing that now, oh my god, everything makes so much more sense. Let me back up a little bit because there are people still extremely confused by this statement and don't understand what is being told. Right now, Disney, yes, owns the X-Men and the mutant characters. This we know happened because Disney bought out Fox Studios and gained the rights to a lot of their properties, giving them back X-Men and Fantastic Four. But the thing is, when Disney bought out Fox, they also had to acquire stuff like their debt and contract obligations because that's just territory that comes with the company. And one of the contract obligations that 20th Century Fox had to keep all these talented actors locked in to play X-Men, people like Jennifer Lawrence, Tyler Sheridan as Cyclops, Evan Peters as Quicksilver, whatever Fox did to make sure these actors are loyal to their franchise, they had it in their contract where they're promised no other actor will replace you and you will continue playing this character until the year 2025 if we continue to make more movies. Which, let's be honest, even if Disney did not buy out Fox Studios, they were going strong with this new young X-Men cast and they were going to just keep making movies over and over. So it's not that Disney isn't allowed to use their own characters that they now own, it's just that if a previous actor in the Fox universe has played them, they most likely have a contract obligation not to be replaced by another actor until after the year 2025. So going back to everything we've seen of Marvel ever since they acquired the X-Men, this makes sense. We have Evan Peters who played Quicksilver in WandaVision. Granted, it later got revealed he was a completely different character by the name of Ralph Bohner, and then most recently in Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, they brought back Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, and then they right away killed him off in that multiverse. Also why it's not preventing them from starting production on the upcoming Deadpool movie with Ryan Reynolds, because that was already the existing actor playing Deadpool, so there's no contract breach because Marvel isn't getting a new actor to play Deadpool. Even going further with everything we've been hearing about how Marvel's going to introduce the X-Men, we hear their first X-Men-like movie isn't going to be called X-Men, it's going to be called The Mutants. And if that's coming out somewhere between Phase 5 and 6, that entire movie might be made up of lesser-known mutants that the Fox universe never used in their films. That way they don't have a contract obligation to bring back that exact same actor. Also opening our eyes to why Kamala Khan was kind of turned into a mutant. Hopefully I did a good job of helping you understand that, but now also we got to get to the question that a lot of people are going to be asking, Well, if they're forced to use these actors right now, then bring them back. I love some of those peoples. Evan Peters was great as Quicksilver. I kind of like Tyler Sheridan as Cyclops, or any of those other younger actors that showed up in the X-Men movies, which, side note, the younger actress who played Storm in the later X-Men movies, Alexandra Shipp, I remember whenever Disney bought out Fox Studios, she tweeted out specifically laughing at fans saying, "You really think they're going to replace us?" And now we know why she was laughing, because she knows she had a contract obligation to be in the movies, and she didn't think Marvel was going to actually wait it out until 2025 to show the X-Men. But I do think that's exactly why they're going to wait. Although we had some great characters in there throughout the series, like Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, of course Hugh Jackman Wolverine, at the same time, Marvel probably wants to do their own interpretation, their own version of these characters, whether it be Professor X, Magneto, Wolverine, and also these characters have been playing those versions of the X-Men for a long time. They might want to do a younger version of those characters. They also definitely have plans to do like several X-Men type movies, and a lot of these actors were already playing X-Men characters for close to 2 decades. You really think they'll sign on for another decade? So I know a lot of us have like huge attachment to some of these older X-Men characters, but we just got to be happy a few of them might be crossing over, like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's someone drinking from the fountain of youth and makes it very clear he'll play Deadpool to the end of time, and we want to see that. But we see even in the MCU, Marvel will replace an actress if they don't think she's good enough for the bigger plans they have, aka Cassie Lang. We miss you, old Cassie. So it's just something we got to brace ourselves for and prepare and just kind of be patient, because it looks like Phase 5 and 6 not really going to be introducing any classic X-Men characters, because that phase doesn't end till 2025. And that's also why I'm telling you guys, Secret Wars is going to do that by the end of the movie. Just like in the comics, there's going to be a reset of the timeline where something happens by the end of that movie and different multiverses will be part of our Earth, and whatever new world they create, it'll probably be said that mutants were there from the beginning and were born and are now out there. And for those wondering why the Fantastic Four can do it sooner than the X-Men, we saw Fox's Fantastic Four failed on its first movie, most likely never locking them into the sequel phase where they were locked on for a decade, and is why we can get someone like John Krasinski to play Reed Richards instead of Miles Teller. Still, we'll just have to wait and see. Another interesting thing that like no one is talking about in this same podcast, the guy also mentions it's the same reason Warner Brothers is not moving forward with a Superman movie, because it turns out they have a contract obligation to Henry Cavill, which now would explain when they do Superman cameos, it's the Henry Cavill Superman without showing his face, and why Dwayne Johnson The Rock has been saying whoever ends up playing Superman, that's who I'll fight. So I throw it off to you guys. Now knowing this information, how do you feel about the future of the MCU? Can you be patient? Who would you actually want them to keep in? But also be super realistic, because Hugh Jackman has said it. He's done with Wolverine. He's happy with the way that character ended, and let's give the guy the break. Anything, everything, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.